Hello, everyone. Welcome to one of the PodClass series in conversation with the seniors. Today, we have Mr. Omar Noor, a BSc student from the founding batch. So let's welcome him.
Thank you, Varun, and all others. Thank you for having me. It's a great initiative on your part to actually let people know a college much better since it's a new college. So it's a great initiative.
So thank you for being with us. So why don't we start about knowing about you a bit more by yourself?
So as you know, as you just said, my name is Omar Noor, and I am originally from Jharkhand, but I have done my entire schooling in Kolkata. And for my graduation, I came to National Rail and Transportation Institute in Vadodara, and I did my BSc in Transportation Technology there.
Okay, as we already mentioned that you are from the founding batch. So what was running around your mind when you chose to join this institute as a founding batch because it didn't have proper stats? It was a new college.
Yeah, that was a question we had to face for long. Like everybody, when we were joining for at least the first 2 years, everyone was asking what is going to be the scope. And honestly, we also didn't know. But there was a clear fact that it was a new college and it did not stand anywhere near established institutes like IIT, NITs, and other institutes like Jadavpur University. But the main thing I saw was that we needed to look at the vision. The main vision was to provide the country with skilled people in the transportation domain. And considering that no other college was doing it as its sole agenda, it I think it was something which you could go for because transportation industry definitely needed a college like this. So I was quite glad to become a part of this, and I am glad that the last 3 years have been in accordance with that.
Yeah. So now you being a student of the founding batch and having a bond with the college for the last 3 years. So do you think that your opinion changed over the time?
My opinion did change. Yes, initially I think when we had joined the college, we were looking for a completely set up college, and we had certain number of expectations that these things are going to be there. In the initial phase, we used to have more complaints and some nagging that this should be there, that should be there. But rather, as the time passed on, we realized that it is a process. It's not that the institute is going to be established already, but that it was going to be a process in which we needed to be a part of. Currently, I feel that the founding dean is as much a part of the college as much as the founding batch. So the sense of belongingness developed over time, and that we need to contribute significantly to the development of the college even after we have passed out for some years. So this feeling developed over the years, and this changed from the first year to the final year.
So moving on, learning process gains more weight and interest based on the teacher who is taking up the subject. So can you share about the faculty you got to learn and the expertise of them sharing in that field?
Yeah, I think faculty has been a strong point in NRTI. We have had a lot of visiting faculties, and I think visiting faculties, the best part about them is that they are experts in their domain. While for permanent faculty, the best part is that they give you a lot of support. Student to teacher support is there. So I think we have got the best of both of them, and maybe a little cons. But looking at the bigger picture, it has been a great experience.
So it was really good hearing about the faculty. And talking about these things, so we have also seen a few pictures of some dignitaries like Sri Suresh Angdi, Ministry of State Railways, Mr. Piyush Goyal, Minister of Railways of India, and Dr. Sridharan, and many other people who has been visiting and sharing their experiences with the students. So would you like to share those moments because you were also present in those times with them?
Yeah, I mean, these are people who are generally you see on the TV, and the people who are given titles like the Metro Man of India was given to Mr. G. Sridharan, and then there was Mr. Piyush Goyal. All these kind of people, at the age of 20 at least, we do not think we get to have a proper interaction with them. But to sit in the same classroom as them and they giving us their insights and experiences and their perspectives, it was a great experience and definitely a memorable one.
That sounds really good. And moving on, yeah, you guys founding batch has been associated with college, and compared to any other batches, you have been in the campus more than any other batches. So can you just unload or open the jar of memories that were named after college life and share those experiences?
I mean, I don't have any such specific memories, but I think that there are a lot of small parts about it, and the small things add up to make the bigger picture. Like starting from the football field that we had, and we used to spend hours there, and then we used to have the palace. You can go around it, appreciating the look of the palace for the entire 3 year, never get bored. And then we had the library, and there was this PT and all those things. So a lot of small parts added up, and I think it's the same for all college students. They have the small memories which add up, and that was the same for us.
And yeah, I've also heard that you read books a lot. So your fellow batchmates have told me many things about you. So I guess you are the best person to review our library on the campus. So what are your opinions over the library and all the books inside there?
Library, I think I'd say that the 30% of the library is great because that's where most of the fiction and the interesting books are. The remaining 70%, I think, is considering that our library is mainly owned by NIR, National Academy of Indian Railways. So they have a lot of books which are related to their domain, the technical parts of the technical engineering aspects of the railways and all those workings. But that is definitely a good part also because I found some really interesting books regarding the adoption of technology in railways and the transportations and the intelligent transport systems, and I got to know a lot of things from those also. But for a reader who wants to read fiction books, there is a very good collection. About 30% of the library is made up of the fiction part, and it's great. And the other 70 part is about non-fiction. And if you're really interested in that, it's the entire library is great for you.
And moving on and talking about the conferences and all those things that a founding batch student have been given opportunity. Of course, all the batches due to COVID, most of the other batches couldn't experience it. So conferences across the countries held in with respect to transportation sector, and student of this institute are given special preference and allowed to be a part of it. So you have also got an opportunity to be a part of this. Like, would you like to share those experience and what exactly you got to learn from that?
I had gone to the INMEX SMM conference in Mumbai. It was related to the maritime and shipping industry. So it was, I think, a conference gives you much more insight into things than days or weeks of Googling because I think before we select a conference, I used to initially think that it is just going to be a place where the speakers are going to come, stand on a podium and speak. But if you look at the speakers list, and there are good people, recognized people from the industry, the kind of talk they give and the kind of insights they provide, it is quite interesting. I mean, in the conference in which I had gone, there were the chairpersons of Adani ports and SR ports and some government officials from the shipping industry also. So the kind of insights they gave and the talks they gave and the problems they discussed, and it was an interactive session. So people from the audience were also asking questions. So it was quite good and quite insightful. If you get a chance to go for it, don't miss it. You can miss a few classes, but don't miss conferences.
Yeah. Uh, Talking about the facts and stats we have, you are one among the few students who got placed from the campus. So initially, what is your, as a BSc student, what is the role you play in the organization? And can you share about your job experiences, if possible, placement packages, so that that will be useful to the students?
For the placement processes, it has been a rolling placement. Companies have been coming, and then have been going, and there have been a lot of good companies like Aditya Birla, Tata Group, Mahindra, and Hindustan Unilever Limited. And the best part is that most of the jobs have been coming have been related to the transportation domain. If not, you won't have to shift domain, go into IT or sales or anything like that. As of now, I think around half of the batch has been placed, and placements are still ongoing. For me, I have been placed in Mahindra Logistics as a graduate trainee, and I have been placed in the transportation and procurement department.
That's really good, and congratulations over that.
Thank you.
So being a BSc student, you have been a part of many internship while your course tenure. So can you share about what kind of internships were you in part of, so that that will be helpful for our students as well?
For the first year, I was part of I worked in Indian Railways under the DRM of Howrah in the Howrah division, and it did give me a great insight into the intricate workings of the daily operations of the Indian Railways. Like we initially think that we do not have such an idea that how complicated things are. Especially I worked in Howrah division, so it was quite. Howrah division is one of the most busiest of the stations and the divisions in Indian Railways. So initially, when I had gone, and my mentor, he was the chief of the passenger operations in that division. I had been attached to him. So he asked me, "Do you know what is the efficiency ranking of Howrah?" So I said no. So he said we are seventh. Last year we were ninth, but this year we are seventh. So he said it in a as if it was not a good news. I asked him, isn't it good that we have increased the ranking by two? So he said, no, we are seventh from the bottom now. So that was how things were there. It is quite overloaded, that part, and the capacity, and there are a lot of infrastructural constraints out there. So getting to understand all those things and how all those are handled, it was quite great to know those. And for the second year, I was working in Bombardier. I was involved in the digitalization of the product status cards. Suppose a product status cards are like sheets of paper which are used to keep individual track of all the products which are under manufacturing. So if there are 100 products, there will be 100 sheets of paper and it gets quite messy. So I was involved in the digitalization of that.
I hope students nearby can use that opportunity and be there. And yeah, during your undergrad tenure, being a BSc student, so what kind of online courses and certificate courses did you take up, and how did that help you in gaining a job in a transportation sector that you are placed in? So can you suggest few things, because that will be very much useful to the juniors to use it as an opportunity and follow your path.
I think one of the main advantages we had was that during the lockdown, Coursera had offered unlimited number of courses to our college students. So I had used that to the full extent to explore a lot of courses. I mean, I had gone from that's when discovered my interest for search engine optimization, and that's when I furthered a bit of my knowledge into Python and did some courses on Visual Basic Analytics also. So the main thing is when you are going to choose your courses, are the main thing you should consider is firstly they should be in areas of your interest, because that is going to be really beneficial for you. If you have done something in areas which interest you, and later on you go to an interview and you can show that yes, this is something I am interested in and I have pursued it and done something credible in it. And the second part is that I use this opportunity and the certificates, and because they don't take much of your time or any resources. So try to explore. You never know when you're going to find something which interests you, which initially you did not think was possible.
Yeah. So you have been a part of corporate world already. So what do you think about the course curriculum that the college offers? Is it helping you in your career do better compared to any other course curriculum of any other institute? So what are your opinions over the curriculum structure of our institute?
The curriculum structure of National Rail and Transportation Institute, I think, is great because initially it focuses on developing the soft skills of the person, and in the later part, it develops the technical skills of a student. And initially, I mean, during this course, they also focus on aspects like data analysis and coding, which are currently trending in the market. So I think it is a great selection of courses. And one of the other good things which we have in our courses is that there is a lot of group projects. So initially, most of us, we did not have this team working. I mean, it's not as developed as it is now. We have this group work abilities, and we used to have a lot of presentations. So that stage fright and all those things, so there are a lot of things which you come in with, but they are not going to go out with you because of the course curriculum. So I think it is great.
Okay. can you share your interview experiences specifying about the personality skills or the soft skills they are gonna ask you, or did how did that be a part of it? So, what is your experience of your placement or interview session when you're joining to a company?
I think the main thing about an interview is that you need to stay on your toes because, yeah, you need to prepare obviously, but staying on your toes is very important because you never know which way the interview is going to turn. I mean, you can make all the plannings and you can say that I'll give this answer, and if a counter question arises, I'll give this answer. But things go haywire very quickly in an interview, and I have experienced that a lot of times. But the main thing is to be ready, be alert, and be relaxed because if you are tensed, even the good preparation is not going to work. So even if you are going to be a little less prepared, it's okay, but you need to be relaxed and composed and be alert.
Okay, ending all the official questions for any student. Now let's get into a personal question for you specifically. So you, along with few of your batchmates and friends, have started a startup and been working on it even now. So would you like to share the experience about how you started so that that will be useful for the interesting minds or your juniors specifically? So,
I've been initially involved in two startups. The first was promotion and marketing. It was not actually mine, it was started by Shubham Sharma, and I joined him later on. It was regarding social media marketing. And the other one was SEO.in. It was started by me and my friend Adarsh Bhardwaj. It was regarding search engine optimization. So initially we had gone to a certain extent, and for SEO we had built the website and all those, and we had started approaching clients and all those. But the marketing aspect of it takes time to build the network and to make people attracted towards you. All of it takes time. And then we had this placement procedures come in for our college, and the process got halted. But I think the main thing is that if you're interested in something, don't let it just be on paper or in a piece of a certificate. Try to do something with it. It's not just for the sake of showing it on your CV or going to tell somebody that, yeah, I am doing this, but it's so that you can further your interest in the field. I think that is the main part of it. And this is what, even it does, if it does not work out in the long run, I won't have any regrets because at least this field interested me and I tried to do something.
okay, finally moving to the final stage. Any words of experience you would like to share with your juniors of the coming batches, being a foundation batch student?
I mean, one of the main traits you can associate with the founding batch is that all of us are probably have that percentage of risk taking in them. And they also, I think most of them have come into an RTI because they thought that this field was interesting to them. I mean, that is the reason why I joined, because 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, if I would not maybe have a job from an RTI, I would still not be worried because I had come to an RTI because the domain and the transportation sector interested me. So I would have that satisfaction that I went into what interested me. So for everybody, I think this applies. I mean, it sounds philosophical and all those, but I think it is still relevant because initially when you are in your 18 or 19, when you are about to join college, you think that this is the time when you make the right move and you have to position yourself properly. But when you are going to pass out, and maybe the sense of urgency decreases over time. Maybe it will decrease by 25, maybe it will decrease by 45, but we do have a lot of time. Like if you go by, if Colonel Sanders started KFC at 65, going by that you have over 45 years of time. So go for mainly what interests you, and that is going to be always rewarding.
Okay, thank you for being a part of this. This session was really informative, and I hope this will be helpful for the students, both of NRTI presently and aspiring students as well. Thank you for taking out your time and being with us.
Thank you all of you for having me. Glad to be a part of it.
Okay.